Ji, do want to understand from you about the genesis of this outrage that was witnessed on the streets yesterday, and it was unbelievable. Uh, at this time, how do India-Nepal relations look like in the coming future, keeping in mind that it is the Nepalese army, the army chief himself, who has taken control of the situation in wake of the vacuum that has been created in the political system. The current dispensation has completely dispersed. We don't know where KP Oli is right now after his resignation. The president of Nepal has also seen disgruntlement at the hands of the Nepalese youth. Do you think there is an army rule that will have to be imposed in the interim period?
No, the short and sweet answer to your question, as per my understanding, that will be highly detrimental. No army rule as of now should be invoked in a country like Nepal. It will be very counterproductive. Rather, maturity and responsibility demands that the problem is understood right at the grassroots level. To my mind, I have dealt with Nepal. I have been in Nepal for quite some time for many activities while in service. Um, Nepal army is not a very big army. It's got around 95 odd thousand soldiers, and majority of the Maoist rebels, large number, they have been retrenched or taken into the services. And we need to understand why the current problem has actually erupted. It is not one day affair or 2 days. There has been a backdrop of economic downturn, one. Number two, the employment opportunities have been drying out. Like any other country, the unemployment percentage, if I am not wrong, has shot through the roof. It's gone beyond, I think, 19 or 20%. It's pretty high. The youth of Nepal have been seen in Middle East, in Europe, in America, hunting around for jobs. Jobs as it is are very far and few, and a large number of employees are being laid off by the multinational companies. The worst part, what is happening in Nepal is the democracy is just about, I think, 15, 16 years old. 2008, 2009 they started, and democracy is yet to gain any kind of maturity in its being as a structure, as also a kind of a sustainable roadmap. Why am I saying this is, in a democracy where there are troikas, the understanding between one regime with other one, and we are mindful of the fact that the Congress has got leanings with India, but Prachanda and Oli, both these parties, they have their leanings towards China. And most important thing is there is an intersection of three different spheres. One sphere is called as the sphere of Chinese. That is, when I talk about this, I am talking about the Confucius institutes which are existing presently in Tribhuvan University and Kathmandu. These are the mother institutes. However, the sub-institutes are there spread all over the country. My latest statistics actually indicated more than 36. What do they do in this institute? They teach Mandarin language to the Nepalese. As on today, there are more than 6,000 women and qualified people who have been trained in Mandarin. One. Number two, what else do they learn? They learn about the Han Chinese, the cultural identity of Han Chinese and their supremacy in China, and how China is carrying out. There is a thing called as the new policy on weaponization of population. The Han Chinese are being pushed into countries where they are expected to actually manipulate and make an entry into the existing demographic profile and carry out a change. What else are they doing? They are also doing big things. You see, BRI project, when you start evaluating, there is no official document till now.
Yes.
You want to stop? Okay, please go
Yes,
ahead.
yes. I will come to the external interference and how Pakistan has been taking advantage of it because of the porous borders, talking about madrasas, Christian missionaries, talking about how China has also been able to take control through salami slicing tactics that it has been utilizing, executing. But I'll come back to that. I do want to keep my focus particularly on this domestic turmoil. And I do want to understand, Gautam Mukherjee, has this protest and outrage that has resulted in these violent demonstrations been organic? Was it orchestrated with a clear structure and plan that was discussed, that was planned out, that was implemented after months and years of planning? Again, this is a protest that has obviously shocked the entire world, but there had been previous protests also in the past few months, and people have not been happy with the establishment, the political establishment, whether it was KP Oli's or for that matter Pushpa Dahal, who was also removed from his position when KP Oli came into being, did not even complete his full term.
Well, Megha, according to me, this cannot have been all that spontaneous because it has systematically uprooted the government in one day by burning the place down, from the parliament to the prime minister's house to many of the ministers. One or two have, at least one wife of a former prime minister has been killed, very unfortunately. So this certainly looks like not only well planned, but backed by certain forces. Who might they be? This is a matter of speculation at this moment, but it looks more than likely. This is too efficient a takeover or a revolution that has thrown out the government to have been spontaneous. If you compare it with the ones in Bangladesh and Sri Lanka, you will notice that they built up over days and eventually came to the boil by overthrowing the government. This has done it in one day flat. So there's that. Now, who, as I said yesterday on your channel, who are the army with? Are the army in it for themselves? Is the army and the armed forces, are they leaning towards China or are they leaning towards nationalism or towards India? We don't know. General Sudhakar just said that a lot of the Maoists have been absorbed in the army. That doesn't portend well for what is coming next, because the students could well be sidelined if the army decides to take power. And the army could take power if it is basically Maoist rank and file, which tends to suggest that the Chinese are still influential. And for all you know, the government could come back. This could be a reactionary move. But if the army is neutral or pro the students, then real change has come about in dramatic fashion.